Hello and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty RN channel, where I'm passionate about helping victims of all ages and all genders, in particularly women, since I happen to be a woman. And I'm passionate about helping those victims overcome the fear of facing the abuse to become survivors. So far over here on this channel, on the All Around Natural Beauty RN channel, we have been using the umbrella of Shanquella Robinson's case, the murder of Shanquella Robinson, as our foundation to get justice in order to leverage that justice and give a voice for our community to seek and get justice for past abuse and to decrease significantly or to our hopes, and prayers to eradicate this for future incidents. So I'm just grateful that we have been building a community over here, standing strong since November the 26th and growing and facing everything every day since then. I'm also excited that over here in our chat that we do address issues with respect. Respect in our chat. God darn it. I have to take a hold. God darn it. Hold on, y'all. Man, this is bad. Hey. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Like, that was a very nice call there. Mo money. So anyway, I'm just excited about seeking justice for Shanquella Robinson, and that things are, moving and looking great all around. So I'm just excited, and hopefully it won't be any more interruptions. However, y'all know that, I'm a real person. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 52 years old. And that was a really nice conversation right there for a significant amount of mo money. Sometimes you have to just say, show me the money. It works. All right. So anyway, back to the story here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 52 years old. I'm a proud Gen X, and I've just been rallying and gathering and shouting out to Gen Xers and also the baby boomers, all of us older people that have been here, especially us Gen Xers, because we are very unique. We were here before the internet, and we're still young enough to enjoy the internet, but smart enough to know how to pick out the bones, because we come from the generation of reading, writing, and arithmetic, and that's how we got down. Let me give me some of my delicious alkaline agua here. Right, so excited about that, and yeah, sometimes you just got to stand your ground and hold on to that. So 52 years old, proud mother of 3 adult children, 2 XYs and 1 XX. So that's why I also have, a place in my heart for the XYs. I can't just say that they are all bad because, I have 2 of them, and I love them. However, there is some healing that needs to be done in the community of the XYs versus the XX. We need to do some things on there, because it's been it's been an eye-opening, awakening moment for me to see how much violence and hatred and just all kind of negative things have been focused towards women, not only in this country but worldwide. And like I said, this case was what brought it to my attention as far as this abuse that's going on with women. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming back out here today. And I know that along this journey, we have been led in different directions, right? We have seen how society or the powers that be, the matrix, right, to steer and manipulate our thoughts and our perception on things by changing up the words, adding and subtracting. So like I said, over here, we're about math and science, right? If it doesn't add up and there's no scientific proof, we use our knowledge to rule out things and eliminate false statements. So if y'all have been following me, y'all know recently I had come across the Spirit has been leading and throwing little nuggets my way. And it was a nugget that came up, something that we had found out about back in November when the thing first went down. The arrest for Daejhanae Jackson was out there and it was being reported on for almost an entire day. And then we saw that the next day, things changed. Then they slid in a new word, and then we started following. We went down another rabbit hole. The rabbit hole had a fork in the road, and I'm able to go back and see when the distraction and then also the alternate, the detour happened. The detour took place. And I know a lot of y'all have been saying, well, Nancy Grace, right? And we're gonna play Nancy Grace too. And like I said before, go back to the past, because the truth is first. The truth always comes first, and then the lies come afterwards. The lies come afterwards. So what we've been doing over here is we have been falling back on the truth and the facts of the case that we know. And we try to stay focused on the reality. And like I said, given the known facts that we do know, and try to stay focused on that. And when people come with the distractions, we go back and we refer them back to the math and science to back for the reality check. One of the things we've been doing over here is blessing our chat. Like I said, we do practice being peaceful and respectful over here and listening. However, when things come up and they are not true, I'm never going to hesitate to point it out, because my integrity is most important to me. It's most important to me. And anyone can look back on this here channel and see that I've been the same person, the same today, yesterday, and forever, right? That's how I get down over here. And like I said, I love going back to show what was said, what was being done in the beginning, so we can pick out the bones and those kind of things like that. So I know a lot of y'all had left the link for Nancy Grace, saying that this interview just came out a couple of days ago. So I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to play the interview that Nancy Grace did back in December. And we're going to see how, I'm not going to even say that. I'm going to just play it when I get to that part there. And one of the other things that I like to say about myself is that not only am I 52, but I have over 30 years of nursing experience. So I have the privilege of being a Gen Xer, which really makes it is an advantage, right? Like I said, we were here before the internet. So when we had to trust on reading, writing, and arithmetic, so, we utilize things like the dictionary, the encyclopedia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? We did those things and we trusted in these sources of information. Nowadays, it appears that people like to just listen and accept what they are being told with no written proof. And when we do expose and show the written proof, the people who are offended at it and have problems with it only come back with statements and no proof, just statements, hearsay. So over here, we're open to hear what you have to say, but please have something to show for it, All right, so I'm going to get started with our acts of faith. Acts of faith, copywritten back in 1992. I'd be interchanging it between 92 and 95. It's actually 92. I just thought it was 95, and then sometimes I get a Freudian slip there, and I'll have the wrong information out there. So yeah, that's 1993. Copyright 1993. This book is by Iyanla Vanzant. A lot of y'all new people may know her from Iyanla Fix My Life and, from working with Oprah Winfrey. However, back in the 90s, Iyanla wrote a lot of books, and they were, really good books for helping people. Iyanla's a Yoruba priestess, a cultural custodian, and a spiritual counselor. And this book is a daily meditation specifically for people of color. However, I believe that all people can get something out of this. But again, it is focused for people of color, which we need, sometimes we need, not sometimes, but oftentimes we might need a little additional help to help things make sense to our mind, since we as a people have been conditioned and programmed to not believe the greatest things about ourselves. So I feel like this blessing our chat with this motivation, and oftentimes we'll even add scriptures in there, has been a protection, has been a hedge of protection for me, because a lot of times when you speak in the truth, you will just be prepared to be attacked. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and hop off into this, and then we're going to get off into our first video. All right, I see y'all over here, stuff like that. Yeah, too, for showing up and all that stuff. All right, so I can't take all these calls. Like this here is a spam, but the first one there was super important. All right, so I'm just going to put this on. Push up. All right. So, Acts of Faith, February the 9th, says, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's from Fannie Lou Hammer. And Iyanla says, many of us believe that unless we are struggling, we are not doing it right. We struggle with thoughts, feelings, even other people. We struggle with money problems, family problems, and personal problems. Many of us have said, I am tired of struggling. Well, guess what? When you make the decision to stop struggling, you will stop. When you stop struggling, things get better. Struggle goes against the flow. It creates exhaustion in the mind and body. When you are exhausted, you get sick. If you are sick, you must make a decision and commitment to do everything in your power to get better. The power is in the commitment never to do what makes you sick. The key is the decision never to tire of doing what is best, good, and right for you. I give no thing power over me. Very powerful there. And I know, maybe a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, anyway, in the past, I was speaking on how I was feeling weary in well-doing. And and grateful that you all have been praying and also encouraging me to continue on this path, to continue on standing for justice for Shanquella, and it's what I've been doing. It's what I've been doing. Hey, Giselle. Giselle says, all aboard and welcome to the squad of Justice for Shanquella Robinson at the All Around Natural Beauty RN channel, where we don't do moments of silence and look for justice, the truth, math, and science. Yes, over here we do not do moments of silence. We do moments of speaking, where we're speaking out the names of victims and we're speaking out the names of abusers. We don't keep secrets over here, because keeping the secrets has what's been continuing the cycle of abuse. Because when folks get abused, when you speak out, and people, especially family, we're real good about keeping the secrets. Nobody want to say what the uncle did or what the dad did, or all these different abuses that in our society keep secret. We don't do it over here. We speak. What's up? Know your own worth. Thank you so much for coming over here. Also, appreciate all of my members and also subscribers too. Thank y'all so much. All right, so let's go ahead and we're just going to get into something here, because I just want to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to start with Nancy, since everybody's been shouting out Nancy. This video was said, I'm going to read the comment first so we be on the same page, so y'all know why I'm playing this here video. Let's see here. All right, so let me see. All right, so there was the comment. Folks have been leaving this particular comment. This particular comment, was it on here? Yeah. All right, so let me share the screen real quick. I did a video asking where the Cabo 6 was, because I did that one video where I showed where we already knew about the arrest for Daejhanae that was made back November the 28th. And if she was arrested then, how is she out now, right? So folks had left comments and also put, here we go. It was Kyrania, actually, and thank you to Kyrania for leaving this here link. And also Kyrania had come up on the platform, but we had some technical difficulties, so we're able to finish everything. But Kyrania leaves a message here, this comment on that the last live I did a day ago, or it had to be 2 days ago. Wrong there. Let me see where I'm at. Oh, there you go. Kyrania says, hey, RN, I tried to email you, but I obviously don't know your email because it bounced back to me. And then she leaves this link here, and it says, in this video, Nancy Grace is talking about how there has not been an arrest and why. I found it interesting because the guy said something that I've said before, and that's regarding the term femicide. There's that word again. That word alone may be holding up an arrest being made. Watch the video. You said you were going live earlier today. I didn't do it yesterday, y'all. I had a ton of things to do, and I just wasn't feeling it. Like I said, I just like to let the spirit lead me when to do this. And when it's saying, relax and chill, then I don't. I just keep my antenna up and I'm going for that. It says, watch this video. You said you were going live early today, so I doubt that I can be there. Hope this helps. All right. And I'm pretty sure that it did help, but y'all can see, look at all these comments. People saying Nancy Grace or, you know, saying all this good stuff there. So that's what I want to show y'all on that. I'm so pretty. All right, so let me go on back over here to, oh no, I can just go ahead and click on the Nancy Grace from this here, so y'all can see that this is where the video came from. All righty. All righty. Let me take this mute off. This here, you know, says 1 day ago. Says February the 7th, right? Let's see what Nancy's got to say. Let me just show y'all this one more again, where it says February the 7th from Crime Online with Nancy Grace. Let me go ahead and do that too. I like to show support, all right? Y'all see that? February the 7th, which was 2 days ago. From Crime Online with Nancy Grace, all right?
Name Shanquella Robinson mean anything to you? Because it means a lot to me. This beautiful young girl with her life ahead of her goes on a girls' weekend with some friends, and she never makes it back home alive. A very disturbing video is released of Shanquella in her, listen, these, I'm calling them girls, they're all, I think, in their early 20s. Shanquella was 25 at the time of her death. So all of the girls, young ladies, go to a...
First thought that this sounds familiar. The other, you know, in the past, y'all see I got some Nancy Grace lives that I did. So I'm still listening, but this sounds very familiar. They were just vocals because it was on a podcast, so it wasn't visual. It's the first time I'm actually seeing Nancy speak. However, this speech, what she's saying, the words sound familiar.
Mexican resort, and it's a 5-star, it's a beautiful resort. But then stunning video emerges of her so-called friends wake her. Shanquella's mother and I both believe, because she sleeps without her clothes on, that she was woken up by the friend girls and some guy that was a friend.
Again, she's saying that she was naked, right? All right, so here's, y'all can jot this down and keep up with the facts. So when they come and tell you that she was wearing a flesh-colored leotard, then you know these are lies, right? Right. So here Nancy again saying Shanquella was naked, and her mother vouched for it, saying she was naked. Can we all agree that she was naked, so we don't have to go back and dispute that again for all the people that want to say she was dressed?
As well, not a lover, a friend. Somebody was videoing all this. They get her out of bed. She's butt naked, and they start a fight with her. I can hardly stand to look at the fight because in the fight where they're beating her, one woman in particular, her head goes sideways. Shanquella dies because of that injury. I've got her death certificate right here. And joining me right now is Irv Brandt, Senior Inspector. This is why I have Irv on with me today. He's an expert, U.S. Marshal Service International Investigations, Chief Inspector, DOJ, Office of International Affairs. He's been a country attaché for the U.S. Embassy and author of Solo Shot, Curse of the Blue Stone. It's on Amazon now. Also author of Flying Solo, Top of the World. So, Irv, let me bring everybody up to date quickly. The reason that she died was because of basically her neck getting broken. Oh gosh, what do you call, Jackie? Along the lumbar spine, twisted, and her head basically is no longer attached to the rest of her spine. It's kind of like an internal decapitation, where your head is no longer attached to your spine because of one of the blows. And Irv, you and I have looked at the video. It just makes me sick to look at it. So the girls, the friends that do this to her, and the friend man, the grown man, they all rush back to the States. Irv Brandt, why have they not been arrested and extradited back to Mexico?
Okay, Nancy, I'm going to lay it out for you. This is speculation on my part.
Y'all heard that?
It's speculation based.
He said it's speculation on his part. Let's see what he's about to speculate on.
On many years of experience with international extraditions. First of all, to extradite a crime within the treaty from one country to another, there has to be a common crime covered under the treaty. My understanding.
You don't think murder would rise to that, Irv Brandt? I mean,
well,
listen, I like you a lot, but
not,
I don't like anything you're saying.
Yeah, I understand that. It's complicated, Nancy.
Is it?
Give me a minute and I'll explain it.
Okay.
Yeah, dumb me down for me, because I'm just not that smart, Irv Brandt.
Yeah, right. I'm talking to a lawyer. You're going to cut me to pieces.
I've seen a lot of ding-dong lawyers. They're not all smart, trust me.
What they charged was, help me out with the exact verbiage of the crime.
An arrest warrant has been issued and extradition proceedings have begun in Mexico for the...
So it sounds like Nancy is reading something from olden times, right? Arrest warrant been issued. This sounds like some old stuff. So it's highly unlikely that this is something that she was just reading from 2 days ago.
The murder of 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson.
It was
a homicide.
No. But the exact title, the exact charge.
Yeah, Nancy, what's the exact charge?
It's got to be voluntary manslaughter.
No.
Oh, femicide.
Femicide.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
This is my point. This is what I'm getting to.
Okay.
Under the treaty, there's a list of crimes. You can't generalize. It has to be specific. You can't generalize this. Oh, well, femicide is murder. No, it's what the crime is charged. If that crime is not charged under the treaty, what Mexico has to do is re-indict that charge and charge them with something that can be extradited under the treaty, like, let's say, murder. Now, I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm saying I'm giving you a possibility, and I'm giving you likely possibilities, because over my years of experience in this, we go through this little song and dance all the time, especially came to sometimes sex crimes, drug crimes, money laundering crimes. Lots of countries don't have similar, just the titles of them, and it has to be worked out, and sometimes that takes time.
Hey, listen, you might be onto something, Irv, and I want to remind you, Jack, remind me to circle back with him on this. I posed to you the other day, we were off air, what the HELL is going on with Shanquella's case. Why hasn't anything been done? The women all changed their cell phone numbers. They cut off their cell phones. They moved from their apartments. Nobody can find them, head nor tail of them. As far as I know, that's never stopped a bounty hunter from finding the person. But the killing of Shanquella is being investigated as a, quote, femicide. That is an unfamiliar term for many of us in the U.S. It is a gender-motivated crime, and it has not been defined by the U.S. legislators as a global issue. That's feeding into what you're saying. Now, prosecutors in Mexico are trying to extradite one of Robinson's friends. I think they should get all of them, by the way. Have you seen this video, Irv? They're all like a pack of jackals yelping and baying.
If it would have been done in the U.S., and I know, All of them.
Oh,
would
heck
already be
yeah.
in
All
custody,
of them, including the
and
one,
we'd be
the
setting trial dates.
videographer, so to speak.
Right.
Oh, HELL, yes. Now they're trying to extradite one friend as a suspect, and the Attorney General for Baja California Sur told media that an arrest warrant was issued for the crime of femicide, the killing of a woman because of her gender. But you told me off air, Irv Brandt, I was telling you this whole scenario, how angry I was, nothing had been done. I talked to Shanquella's mother and her sister. They're grieving and they're mourning and they're angry all at the same time. I told you about it and you said, I've done a million of these. I guarantee you it's Mexico. It ain't us.
100%.
Explain why you said that, because I hadn't thought of it that way. I have been 3 inches up these people's tailpipes where these women we think are hiding. 3 inches, calling, emailing.
Okay, so will you guys agree that this is old? This is old. This isn't new. This perhaps is back in November, right? This is not, even though this says February the 7th, this is a reposting, a rebroadcasting, right? Because she's talking in these terms of information that we already heard and read, right? Can we agree on that? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think this is old information. Because I can play the audio version that we had, and you guys are gonna hear it's very similar. All right, so let me just keep going on here. It's whatever.
Why aren't you making an arrest? Why aren't you doing the extradition?
Yeah. Why?
And
Why?
when you said that, it all crystallized.
Oh, let me just stop real quick here. Tanya Carter, she did have another one up here. Let me see here. Tanya Carter says Daejhanae was never arrested. This is the reporter changed the wording to say she would have been arrested 11/29. All right. And then, so I'm going back down here because we'll make sure your statements make sense here. Tanya Carter said the reporter started with the lies first. I don't believe anything on his site, and he is the owner of that site. No one has been arrested. He is a scammer. All right, where is that? Back down in here. All right. Hey, Melanie. All right, so let's go back to Nancy here. We're gonna get back to your comment in just a moment here. We're gonna go ahead and give respect here and let Nancy finish her thing here.
It's not us. I'm betting it's not us. I agree with you. It's Mexico. When do we ever get a darn thing out of Mexico? Nothing.
What's up, Tamika?
Nancy, this goes on all over the world. And let me tell you, I spent years at International, in the Office of International Affairs, and Interpol.
It sounds terrible.
And I would travel halfway around the world.
What's up, Karen?
I would fly to Manila, or I'd fly to Bangkok or wherever for a single meeting, because OIA would send me. And they would tell me,
you like, you ain't gonna get no BS over me, buddy. I smell you.
You're the only one that can do it. We need you to go to Manila. We need you to talk with Minister of Justice and ask them to get the paperwork in order for the extradition. We're waiting on this, just like we're waiting on this case. And I'd fly to the other side of the world and go and talk to the minister, who called me by my first name, and had for years. And we would sit down and discuss the case. And just like this case, it would be 2 Americans who are no longer in the country, and they have issued a warrant, so they consider the case closed. They're not interested in extraditing.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm trying to take in what you're saying. So basically, once Mexico issues the arrest warrant, they're like, hey, it's on the U.S. Now listen to this, or I think that you're going to be
And keep in mind that Mexico didn't issue that arrest warrant until November. Remember, at first they were saying, ain't no murder over here. This alcohol poison, right? Alcohol intoxication. They was using the same old little cookie cutter excuse that they had used in the past. However, once the video it went viral, then all of a sudden now Mexico is issuing these warrants or these arrest warrants and all that good stuff, right? So this here
ended up turning out to be right. Unlike Mexico and other Latin American countries, the U.S. does not have a law recognizing femicide as any different from homicide. And that doesn't mean that the killings are not deemed a homicide. But in the paperwork application, Mexico needs to charge it not as femicide, but as murder, straight out murder. So we can get, I guarantee you it's Mexico. I do not believe that authorities here would let this go unavenged. I just don't believe it.
No, Nancy, I'm telling you, I used to do this for a living. The Mexican, it's Americans involved. If it was an American killing a Mexican, there would be a lot of pressure on, they'd be doing whatever. They'd re-indict the case, however it was, to bring that person back down to have a trial. These are Americans, you know, and they're gone. And they have issued a warrant. They haven't issued a red notice. They have issued the warrant.
What's a red notice? So basically, tell me, what is a red notice?
It's an international lookout. Let's say these people traveled to another country, left the United States and traveled to another country. And those people could be detained until Mexico. Let's say they went to Jamaica because they know they're wanted for murder in Mexico. And they went to Jamaica and they had red notices. The Jamaicans would detain them until the Mexicans government could bring them over. But since they're Americans, they just, I mean, there's no pressure. There's no public outrage. It's
you mean no public outrage in Mexico?
Correct.
So they don't care. So the only one that cares basically is Shanquella's family. Yes, you are.
It's just not a high priority. And what I
That's
would
the
do,
same thing.
Yes.
You've got a beautiful dead girl whose mother is crying, whose sister is.
But notice how he's just shutting her down because Nancy's a woman here. See, do y'all see how women are, silenced? Here is Nancy Grace, a reputable attorney, and he's still talking at her like she's just a silly little woman. Women's voices are not respected. Am I the only one that hear it? Can y'all hear it?
It's crying. They're in Huntersville, North Carolina, and I find it very hard to believe that North Carolina authorities are not trying to find these people. But the issue you believe is the extradition papers from Mexico.
And you see how these men keep putting in these excuses, right? In the beginning, when people were suspicious or pointing out that Daejhanae Jackson could possibly be a transgender, all of a sudden they started changing the story, saying, oh, it was because the Mexican people saw her, the maid saw her pulling the wig on and off. They give some silly little excuse, right? You're trying to do this here. The reason why is because they put the word femicide on there, and then all of a sudden now can't nothing be done because of the word femicide. This is another
pile of
BS.
Because I would go and have meetings and explain to them the importance, how important it was to the United States.
It says, Giselle says, we missed you last night. And most of the crew was in Shank Rock's live. Yeah, I don't know. The spirit, I do know. I was not supposed to be a part of that. I was, something, I don't know what's going on over there, but I did peek at his channel, and there's all those videos that he had on there with Shanquella Robinson are all gone. So I was a little concerned about why I was being invited over there. I'm not, no, I'm not trying to walk into any setups or any type of traps or anything like that. I didn't start this platform for that. This here is me lifting my voice for justice for Shanquella Robinson. I'm not trying to get into any type of altercations with whatever's going on out here, all these little gremlins trying to attack and all that stuff. I'm just concerned about, like, what was that about? What was that about? And yeah, so yeah, that's why I wasn't feeling it. I had some butterflies in my stomach, or just some, my solar plexus was telling me no. So I don't know. And it's great, for everybody, whatever y'all got to do. But y'all know that I'm not following any of these other YouTubers. I don't follow the stories. The things that I've played on this channel, that's when I've seen it. I don't go around spending my time looking to see what people are saying about this, because I don't care. I'm going by the facts and the information that's out there. I don't give a hoot about who's saying this, who's saying that. You guys sometimes bring me videos, and if I play them, and if I detect bones or false information, whoever the content creator is, I'm going to point it out. And I've done that in the past, and sometimes y'all can get offended and be like, what. And like I say, that's why I didn't want to get involved in that, because if anybody asks me how my feelings are, what I'm thinking, I'm always going to be on the side of the truth. I'm not going to try to bend or, change me. Like I said, my integrity is the most important thing to me. I'm happy that the channel is monetized. That's great. But if people are already out there trying to make their threats about they're going to get the channel demonetized, have at it. Do your best shot. Give it your best, right? Because just like every video that come out here, somebody try to put a little strike on it. I just submit the review, and guess what? YouTube says that my content is appropriate. So keep doing whatever y'all trying to do, or whatever the thing is. I'm in my zone, and I'm only answering to my own higher self, right? I'm not trying to get off into any of this other stuff. And when spirit is leading me and telling me something, to keep my suspicion up, I'm going to do that. I ain't trying to walk off into no traps or people trying to set me up to do any of this kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm just suspicious on, like, what happened to all the stuff that you had, Mr. Shank Rock, on your channel that was regarding Shanquella. I get over there and it's nothing. Where that stuff at? So I don't know. I didn't. And I felt the unease in my solar plexus on that. I ain't trying to throw no shade on nobody, but I'm good. I'm good.
And I basically make a deal. If you submit the paperwork, we'll pay all the costs. We'll pay all the costs of the extraditions to come down. Many times when they'd agree, they'd look at me and say, "You owe me now." Okay, I owe you. Understood. I mean, that's how it would work. And I did that all over the world.
So Irv Brandt joining me, this is your expertise. What can we do to get justice for Shanquella? I mean, I don't know what we can do.
I am confident. Well, it's the pressure, Nancy. It's just the pressure of you keeping it on the front burner.
Okay, so I'm just going to park it right there, right? Because here we go. I'm going to park it right there. And while I'm parking it, let me see. Well, it's only 5 more minutes. Let me just go on and finish this up. And then we will go to why I'm asking the question if we've got in writing about the arrest, and then we're gonna. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. All right, let's finish on up. Nancy.
I'm confident that the Office of International Affairs is contacting them continuously, trying to get,
He sounds like he's trying to feed her some, distractions here. Highly Favored says Geraldo Zwinga is an opportunist. He wanted money to up his channel. He stopped talking about Shanquella. He's talking about everything else but Shanquella Robinson. I don't know. Betty says it is holding up the process in Mexico's femicide, that word. U.S. does not recognize that word. Okay, let's see here. Tanya says Metropolex MX is the report company. If you read the article again, Daejhanae would have been arrested on November 28th. Would have means she had not been arrested. Okay, so since we going, let me go and do this now then. All right. I know what you're talking about there, Tanya. That's why I want to say this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna go back over here. I'm gonna show, because they had put out 2 different stories, right? I'm sharing this with y'all. Let me see here. All right, so the first one here. Okay, so this one here actually has a case number on it. This has a case number on it. And let me just read it real quick. All right. Is presumed innocent until responsibility is declared by judicial authorities. Article 13, National Code, Criminal Procedures in Mexico. This here is case J664, 2022. San Jose del Cabo, Baja California Sur. The name of Daejhanae Imani Jackson appears in file J664-2022. Right? Okay, so I know what you're talking about here. All right, so let me just finish reading a little bit more. Okay. When she steps on Mexican territory, keep in mind, y'all, I'm going to immediately after this, we're going to go back to the story where Tanya is saying they said if. I know exactly which one you're talking about, right? So here's this one here. When she steps on Mexican territory, the 25-year-old will have to answer for the horrific crime of her friend who was beaten to death on October 29th in the condominium of Cabo Villas complex of this tourist destination. The criminal court of the adversarial system in the judicial district of Los Cabos issued an arrest warrant against Daejhanae Imani Jackson, formally charging her with the crime of femicide. Say that word again. On November 21st, the Baja California Sur State Attorney General Office officially delivered the request to execute the arrest warrant. The extradition process against Shanquella Robinson's friend, Daejhanae Imani Jackson. The process, according to the international extradition law, must meet the following steps. Step 1, the Attorney General of the Republic received the request and reviewed all documentations to assess whether the arrest is appropriate. In this case, the evidence was declared admissible. Jackson is accused of the crime against Shanquella, and the evidence is solid. The Attorney General of the Republic delivered the formal request to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That's number 3. Number 4 is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs made the formal delivery to the government of the United States. Number 5, after the arrest, the United States government will have 30 days to answer whether or not the extradition of the murderer of Shanquella Robinson declared by the Mexican government as a fugitive from justice proceeds. In the presentation of the file, according to data collected by Metropolex MX, the government of Mexico requested the government of the United States to take precautionary measures for two reasons. The first reason was to identify and locate Daejhanae Imani Jackson to avoid running the risk that she could flee the United States, where she was previously arrested. The second reason was to guarantee the right of innocence of the accused, take care of the due process, and not violate her human rights. It is very important that the judicial system not expose the photograph of the arrest to avoid opening the public opinion. Article 311 of the Penal Code of the state of Baja California Sur prohibits exposing the defendant accused to the media in cases in which their arrest is carried out. With the new adversarial criminal justice system, the crime against the procurement of administration of justice in Mexico was created, and the following sanctions were established. The punishment of 3 to 7 years in prison and a fine of 200 to 500 days of salary will be imposed on public servants in charge of procuring and administering justice or executing sentences in the position of their assignments when exposure of the arrest accused to the media in case where the arrest is carried out. Detained person may not be introduced to the media for any reason. When a control judge links a defendant to a criminal proceeding and the person is confined to prison, then the state attorney general office can show a photograph of the detainee, but the accused must be wearing a black ribbon around their eyes with the following writing: is presumed innocent until responsibility is declared by judicial authorities, Article 13, CNPP. In Mexico, like the United States, a person is innocent until proven guilty. For this reason, the state attorney general office took care of all the formalities in the case of the provisional arrest of Daejhanae Imani Jackson, respecting the principles of innocent due process and the human rights of the accused. All right, our comment at Metropolex MX is to provide the news as it develops. These are facts as the day of the publishing of this article. Metropolex prohibits any reproduction of this article, partial or total. Any legal reproduction of the contents will result in immediate legal action. All right. So then there was another article, which where's that? All right, another article. I'm looking for the one where you're talking about where it said would have been. All right. So here is, I think this might be it. This is the latest news from Daejhanae Jackson, November 30th. The latest physical location of the material author of Shanquella Robinson's Shanquella Robinson crime was in Connecticut, in the United in the northwest of the USA. All right, so let me see here. San Jose, Cabo, Baja California Sur, the Attorney General Office states Baja California Sur presented on November 21st the request for the arrest warrant of Daejhanae Jackson for extradition purposes. In order to be tried for the crime of femicide, the young Shanquella Robinson, which occurred October 29th in the condominium in Cabos Villas. The arrest warrant, according to data collected, by Metropolex MX was presented to the Attorney General office. Okay, see, same thing here. Who in turn handed over the request to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which were the steps they've said need to be taken, of Mexico to be officially presented to the United States government. Since last November, Daejhanae Jackson has been considered a fugitive from Mexico's justice after a control judge issued an arrest warrant against her in this municipal capital of Los Cabos. The material author of the 25-year-old crime, according to evidence and testimonies obtained by the public prosecutor's office agents, points to Daejhanae Jackson as the person who appears in the viral video physically beating Shanquella Robinson. Unofficially, Metropolex was informed that Daejhanae Jackson would have been arrested. Is that what you're talking about there? Would have been arrested on the night of November 28th when she was at relatives' home. Okay, so we're going to pause there because I got one more. Let's see, so that one's that. All right. And it is, that's what I'm saying as far as like they throw in these little different bones, because here, all right, I forgot it held over there. All right, so this one here says November the 29th, right? So this is the day before the one I just read. All right, breaking news, Daejhanae Jackson arrested in United States, all right? Daejhanae Jackson was placed in federal custody. So we were being placed in federal custody there. This the one? Placed in federal custody there. And then here on, oh, this is saying December the 6th. And this is the one with a actual file number here, a number here that associates with the arrest. And this one's saying that was arrested with the actual number here. All right, so here's the other one that I was talking about. This one, November the 30th, right? Saying would have, or to take back this one here that says was arrested, right? So if she was arrested on the 29th, then on the 30th, they're saying possibly arrested. Then we also read down up here where they say they have to be secrecy. Why would we believe what they said afterward? If she was initially was arrested and detained here on the 29th, here are the bones. Here's where the bones start to come in. Here are the bones. Was arrested, is being held, right? Here are the bones. This is how we got distracted to all of a sudden now she hasn't, right? All right, so I see what you're saying there, and that's what it's saying here. This is what would have been happened. This is put out here to get you to think something differently. How did she get out? Unofficially, right? Metropolex MX was informed that Daejhanae would have been arrested on the night of November 28th, right? When they just reported here that she was arrested on the night of November 29th. This here says was, is being held, was, right? All right, so got that there. And just to kind of support this, I'm going to go back really quick here to, well, we need to finish up on Nancy. But how about this? We'll go here. And from this little short that I played, that I just released earlier today. We're gonna get with that. Get with that. Like I said, the smartest thing to do is to go back to the beginning, right? When no one knew they needed to give out different information. The truth is always first. No, a lie only exists to dispute the truth. A lie can never come first. A lie doesn't make sense if there's no truth. There's no such thing as a lie if there's no truth. Okay, so here we go. Here we go, right here.
My name is...
Oops. All right, so I'm about to show this video was actually all right, here we go. All right, this is a live from me dated November the 30th, right? And as you can see here, there's a question mark. Daejhanae Jackson arrested. And as I look back, I see that on the 29th, I was reporting that she was arrested. Then all of a sudden, just like y'all, I got the information that, oh, it wasn't true, right? And that's what I'm seeing as far as how they insert a small part of false information. That's how the enemy gets you distracted, by blending in the lie with the truth, right? So here we go. We're going to get, someone's going to come up here and break down this whole thing. Oops.
That when they process you, take your fingerprints, have you remove your clothing, how are you?
Right here.
Etc. I'm guessing. Yeah. But not if you're, yeah, even if you're detained, right? I think all that stuff happens. That's true, because we've been looking for the mugshot. We've been looking for the mugshot.
And again, right? That what picture with the file and the ribbon around the eyes, we saw the date on that also. And again, I said, this here is November the 30th. This is the next day when we all started to say, oh, you know, it was false alarm. She wasn't arrested, right? Like I said, the truth comes first, and then they stick the lies out there so you don't believe the truth.
We was looking yesterday for the mugshot. Oh, here we go. Bring it to the stage for the first time. We have how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing just great. So what are your thoughts on this case?
So they actually got her in custody. The thing about how this works is,
he said they actually got her in custody. Now he's about to explain how it works. November the 30th. This common sense expert said they actually got her in custody, right? Because we had found out about this on November 29th.
the U.S. can only detain her until she's transported to Mexico. So you're detained and she's arrested because they have a warrant out for her. Mm-hmm. So all we can do, that's why we're so quiet, because we can.
He said, that's why we so quiet. That's why we are so quiet. I remember talking to y'all about this. I was like, why all of a sudden we stopped hearing from the news? We stopped hearing from everybody except the YouTubers. I'm going to pull it back a little bit more and listen.
They actually got her in custody. The thing about how this works is the U.S. can only detain her until she's transported to Mexico. So you're detained and she's arrested because they have a warrant out for her. Mm-hmm. So all we can do, that's why we're so quiet, because we can do no more, because we got her in custody. So now they're just waiting on the extradition process so she can go back to Mexico and face whatever charges they do.
Oh, so
just to
you're
kind of
saying
clear
that's
that up.
why the news people ain't saying nothing is because they just holding her until Mexico come pick her up?
Right, so there's no 70.
Even me at that time, November the 30th, I'm trying to make it make sense about, oh, you mean that's why the news ain't talking about it no more? Because they went mute. That was 2 months ago. We still ain't heard nothing from the news yet, right? Only YouTubers talking with this speculation and stuff. And that's why I'm saying that she been arrested. They just start throwing us down different rabbit holes. And no one has been able to produce any sightings. Y'all talking about she was at work. All this been talking, hearsay. We put the proof out here with writing, and nobody can dispute it, only with these speculation stuff. And that's why the next day they threw the bones out there. They threw the bones out there, and the YouTube content creators hopped on it.
To our whole, that's in basic cases, but she has an arrest warrant on her, so
okay.
So she's locked down tight. Ain't no getting away from this one. She may be able to fight extradition to a point, but she's going back to Mexico. It's only a matter of time.
Oh. So you don't think they would have done like a mug shot for her?
Oh, I'm sure they got one. It's just taking a little while to get it out. Every time you get arrested, and I was a criminal investigator for almost 10 years now.
He said he was a criminal investigator for almost 10 years. I'm going to pull it back a little bit again so y'all can listen. This is why you ain't heard nothing about the case. All we're doing is making noise for no reason. Why the FBI ain't been doing it? How come the news ain't reporting? It's because of this. Nothing else we can do. That's why we've been so quiet. 10 years experience as a criminal investigator, is telling you the reason why everybody's silent. We saw that after this was put out there. When's the last time y'all heard something from the lead attorney talking about this? His mouth been mute too. He said it on his live about the secrecy. They got secret courts out there that nobody knows about, and you ain't supposed to talk about. Wake up.
Now they're just waiting on the extradition process.
Go back a little bit more.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing just great. So what are your thoughts on this case?
So they actually got her in custody. The thing about how this works is the U.S. can only detain her until she's transported to Mexico. So you're detained and she's arrested because they have a warrant out for her. Mm-hmm. So all we can do, that's why we're so quiet, because we can do no more because we got her in custody. So now they're just waiting on the extradition process so she can go back to Mexico and face whatever charges they get.
Oh, so you're saying that's why the news people ain't saying nothing is because they just holding her until Mexico come pick her up?
Right. So there's no 72-hour hold. That's in basic cases, but she has an arrest warrant on her. So
okay.
So she's locked down.
And this is November 30th. He's talking from his experience. Because somebody was saying, oh, it's got to have a 72-hour hold and all this stuff. He's saying, oh, no, she's got an arrest warrant. So that all that stuff is null and void. That don't count. He's not knowing that he's supposed to talk about that she's not detained. This is fresh. That's why I'm saying you got to go back to the beginning before anybody knew they had the lie. The lie came afterwards. The lie is always behind the truth. The truth is first.
I'm tight. Ain't no getting away from this one. She may be able to fight extradition to a point, but she's going back to Mexico. It's only a matter of time.
Oh. So you don't think they would have done like a mug shot for her?
Oh, I'm sure they got one. It's just taking a look.
And the reason why I asked that was because that was how we all got distracted. Well, where's the mug shot, right? Where's the mug shot?
a while to get it out. Every time you get arrested, and I was a criminal investigator for almost 10 years now. I'm still connected to law enforcement, so I know how it works. It's gonna take a little while. So,
all right. Break it down. Tell us how that process works.
So once the feds pick you up, they take you down to the whatever local jurisdiction they had.
I hear you.
They fingerprint you, they AFIS you, they run your background. Let's make sure you don't have any other warrants. So hopefully she don't have any other warrants in the state, because until she clears them warrants, they're not gonna let her go back to Mexico. Depending on the severity of the warrants. If she have, just assuming that she had any warrants here, she would have to clear those warrants in the state before they release her to go to Mexico.
Wow. Okay. I think I got a question for you too down here. Oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I think they kind of jumped the gun, in my opinion. I would have went for they say the guy that's Malik, he was in the background, he wasn't saying that. You always want to go with the person that's less culpable in situations like this, because they're more likely to spill everything, because even though with the video never captures the whole scene.
Right.
The video you only see, but you don't see what's going on behind the camera. Everything else that doesn't, that's not in front of the camera, you only see what's in front of the camera. And I think if they would have got him, he probably would have, told it all to save his own hide, because he's probably facing.
And when was the last time anybody seen any of those other people? Right? After, I think it was in maybe the end part of December or early January, when Nazir was seen at a gas station or someplace, delivering some food to somebody. We ain't heard or seen from none of them since, but we did hear that there were some subpoenas for them, and now no sightings, right?
The lesser charge, because he didn't really act out in the assault of her, unless they planned this prior to them going to Mexico. Now,
right. So in that case, can we charge them for a crime here in the States, in America, if they came here?
Yeah, that's correct.
Because how else could we save people from planning stuff and then taking people out of the country to commit these crimes, and then you get a chance to get away with it scot-free because you did it in another country?
Right. So if you're able to prove that they did it here, and I think they're all from North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that might be correct.
All right. So Tanya says also in that article on Metropolex MX, he said that Interpol arrested her when Interpol does not make arrests, but the reporter did not know this. All right. So are you guys okay to believe that there's some secrecy type stuff that goes on here in this country? It makes sense that that's why everyone has been mute. In the beginning, ABC was putting out stuff. All of the real news stations was putting out stuff. After this story came out that she had been arrested. And then from there, the fairy tale started. Why is common sense expert saying she's arrested? Why is common sense expert someone with over 10 years of law enforcement investigative law enforcement here experience, knowing the ins and outs of how this is done? Why is he saying that's why we're all quiet now? Y'all can go back and watch some of the lead attorneys' lives on this, where he talked about the secret courts, subpoenas to these secret courts, these secret hearings. This America, y'all, they ain't telling us everything. In this case, it's so intricate with a transgender and femicide and all these crazy terms and stuff going in there with all these little special rights. It's a reason why they are being Secretive.
You know, and I heard in North Carolina, they have this law, the hand of one is the hand of all. So if they can prove that they conspired to do this back in North Carolina before they got on the plane to Mexico, they might be able to get them all here for the murder, and that's the issue. They probably not all charge them with the same charge.
Yeah, that's my prayer. That's my hope. I feel like that would be more satisfying than to trust that they're going to get, we're going to get justice in Mexico.
Right. So they may have, get them here and also get them there. I'm not, no one knows what Mexico, how they rules go over there, and according to league, anything goes. So
yeah, that's the part that scares me. Yeah.
Right. Because you never know what can happen when you're outside.
Lakeisha Harris says, Shank Rock wanted you there. You made the decision not to come. Yes, I did make the decision not to come.
These countries, anything,
yeah,
you're subject to whatever the laws are over there.
Right. And if they already paid them off, they just may say, okay, we'll just slap your wrist and toodaloo.
Right. I was just kind of shocked to find out the details. Did they do any crime scene, any tape? Because if this goes to a jury, all that stuff matters. You kind of build the case.
And maybe that's why U.S. ain't sending them back over there, because we already saw that Mexico wasn't even trying to get at them like that. They only came up with this here. We sent them back over here after the video went viral.
She just can't say, "Oh, she did it, now go to jail."
Right.
If they got a jury trial, people want to see. They want to see evidence. They want to see paperwork.
Right.
With TV and CSI, they think it's really like that. So you got to make it look as close as possible to that to get a jury to believe for a conviction.
Well, according to the lead attorney, they don't even present the case to the judge or nothing like that. It's just, some court saying, okay, denied, or, I don't know. Off the head, so I don't know. That's why I don't trust them. Like, what if they just give them a slap on the wrist? How are we going to ensure that justice will be served?
I doubt they would do that because it'll look real bad for tourism. At the end of the day, that's what Mexico are really concerned about, the tourism. That's what keeps things outside, the narcotics business traffic going on there. Tourism is the next best thing.
Wow. Let's see here. Gail says TLA's live streaming course. Okay, so she's dropped in the. Did you take the course for TLA's live streaming course?
Not at the moment. I ain't started it yet.
Ain't started yet. Okay, well, I want to be hearing something from you, because I know you're in the mastermind, right?
Yes, ma'am. I sure am.
All right. So your next step is to get the course. You have a channel, Common Sense Expert?
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
Do you have a channel?
Yes, it's called the Common Sense Expert. That's my channel.
Okay, what you talking about over there?
Oh, I'm reacting to all kind of crazy videos on it, just getting things up and running.
Okay, are you talking about the Shanquella, this case here?
Not really. Everybody else been touching it so much. I just thought to stay away from it.
I'm gonna let it play a little bit, because he's gonna say something extremely interesting as far as like how law enforcement have to handle the transgender community. So a lot of hands are being tied because of that issue. There's certain things, it's like I said, it's very, it's a delicate situation. It's very sensitive. So that's why I'm continuing to let this play on, because again, here's somebody with law enforcement experience, years of it.
For the time being, I might do something right now, because, I don't want to speak on a lot of assumptions, and that's basically what's going on until we get
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And that was my hesitation in the beginning too, right? But, people keep saying that, this is keeping the name out there. This is making sure that justice is going to be served. So I'm still only going to report on the stuff that we have. And that's why y'all see, I don't talk about no new stuff. I'm always talking about the old stuff, because that's where the facts and the truth lie at. The rest of the stuff, speculation.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to feel like I'm just like, hey, let's just kind of, I don't want to feel like I'm exploiting this.
Oh,
However,
wow.
I don't want to not speak about it because
Oh.
it's extremely important, because I know that these kind of things have been going on. They just got caught now because the video came out.
Right. This
Shanquella
happens
is
all the
not the
time.
first woman to have lost out over there, and people, it's probably people walking around free today that then did this same thing. You know what I mean? That's how they were able to do it so easily. It only took them 3 hours to put the plan together, right?
Yeah.
And to put off all the people and to be on the plane back to America. That's like, that sounds like a good little mastermind right there. Like a serious plan, right?
And I looked at that too. They didn't really think it through because they had, according to the reports, they had to call the parents to get money to get back to the state. So if what they should have did is, give me my information to a round trip ticket. So if we get, lost and stuff, I got a way to get back. They had to call the parents to get money to get back.
Wow.
That was just horrible. So it wasn't, I don't think it was a planned attack. You never know, but I think whatever happened, it hit the fan. And once things went wrong,
went too far. And it was like, what do we do here? Yeah.
Right. It's like, it's like, what do we do? We got to do something,
But my thing is that if the Mexican authorities was already prepared with a plan to say, hey, you got money, this is what you do. I don't believe that they came up with it to say, hey, will you guys take a bribe to help us out? I believe that they was propositioned the bribe.
Right. Because, unlike, I think the results are a little bit more, kind of their level of standards a little bit better than you just outside the results you're on the street.
Then we also are aware of the ownership of the villa. We also were made aware that a femicide happened right after that, and they used the same cookie cutter excuse of alcohol poison for that person's demise also. And this kind of stuff happens all the time there. It's often. This is commonplace.
It works a little different. They have medical staff there.
Great ideas can come from anywhere.
Sorry. Miss Sandy says, hello, RN in chat. I was looking at WBTV 2 days ago on YouTube. The news said no arrest. Okay. I hear y'all. I hear y'all. And like I said, I was going along with that too. However, when I went back and saw the one and only report of the actual arrest with the number and all that, so what? Just messed up my space. Of all that, it just led me back to say, oh, okay. So now they're telling us this stuff, right? Tanya says, since we'll do MX care about human rights. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with y'all on that. My thing is that if it was reported that she was arrested and we noticed that immediately the news stopped reporting on it, and we understand that they said it was supposed to be secrecy and all this stuff, and like I said, we're going to hear a little bit more here, going to say how, with this, and we all know that this community got special rights. That's no secret. When did she get out? When was this retracted? All they did was change the word. Would have been. That's how they plant the bones in it, y'all. Let's see. Betty says, why are they being so silent? All right, so we saw that term femicide is kind of throwing a monkey wrench in a lot of things. And again, the lead attorney, and y'all know from out there that they have secret courts. They're not telling us everything. Y'all think that they giving you the whole information? This ain't no open book. This is not an open book. There's a lot of things that need to be protected, a lot of things that need to be on the hush hush. She said they have secret courts out there with secret judges. Even the Nazir dude said this is deeper than what y'all think. Hope I'm in the right spot here. It kind of, my place got lost.
Have the situation first.
Yes, thank you.
That's the most important thing.
Common sense expert. Exactly. Yes, to be a survivor, so you at least have a testimony and not have people speaking about you. You know what I mean?
Right.
About, oh, that was sad, what happened. That's why it's important to see these red flags, see the yellow flags before you get to the red flags, because sometimes by the time you see the red flags, it may be too late, you know, and you saw that she was only able to, withstand a few of those blows, and then boom, it was over within a few seconds of it.
Right, because when you're in an altercation and you're not bracing yourself, and you're more expert on this than me, when you don't brace yourself for impact, any little thing from the right angle could mess something up.
Yep, and then it's lights out. Yes, right. Yes, that's so true. We make sure nobody's got any questions for you before I let you go. Do you have anything else you want to add up here, common sense experts?
No, I just came in just to support you.
I appreciate it.
I was in the comments, spicing up the comments.
That's why I say anybody want to come up here, clear their good name, and because now you sound different than what you was texting in there,
Right, because there's only so much, and then you got so much, you're going so much type at a time, so you come up and talk through it.
PM Channel says, hello, all around SBRN. Was looking forward to seeing you on the content creator panel on Shank Rock. Yes, I didn't feel in my spirit that I needed to be a part of that. I was, when I got over there, I looked, and I know Shank Rock had a whole collection of videos, lives on Shanquella Robinson, and none of them, they were all gone. And, I get attacked often on a daily basis by these gremlins and these threats of doing things to try to damage the channel. And I see, whatever, the attack is happening here. I even went over the scripture, Matthew 25, say, let the tares grow with the weeds. I feel like I'm surrounded by a lot of tares up in here. Tares grow with the wheat. And I didn't feel good in my spirit to be up there. I was wondering why was I invited there? For what? To put me in some type of a trick bag? To get me to say something? I'm over here. I can stick. I'm good. I'm good. And then two, what happened to all of your content? Where did that go? And why isn't that there? Why? And Shank Rock has never come up here on this panel. He's come to the comments, but never have come up here. And I've dropped the link every time I see his name down there. So I was curious and concerned. And like I said, I was curious and concerned. Like, what happened to all those videos on your channel that you put out there on all those lives on Shanquella Robinson? Where is it? And if it's not on there, you didn't want it on there, why are you inviting content creators to come up on your panel to talk about it? What's going on there? So I didn't have enough information to do it. And I've been on his panel before. The same day that I did a video using a video that's no longer available on his channel, I did a reaction to it. So I'm just, hey, I'm gonna use my gut. My intuition told me to be suspicious of that. So, yep, and that's why I didn't go. And like I was telling y'all before, I don't take the time to go watching other content creators to see what they're saying. That's not how I do it. I'm just being me. I'm just being a 52-year-old nurse, mother of 3, Gen Xer, coming from facts, math, and science, and me having my integrity on standing for the truth and sticking to the facts. And I'm not trying to have it out with anybody. I'm not trying to be invited into no ambush or none of that kind of stuff. So that's why I know I said I was going to go there, but like I said, when I went and something told me to click on the live button. I'm like, well, whose channel is this? What's going on? I dropped the link. If anybody want to come, you can try to come talk on my platform, but I'm not walking off into no ambush, right? And I'm not saying that that's what that was, but I didn't know what it was, and I didn't feel good and didn't want to participate in whatever was happening over there. Like I said, no. I was concerned about that. I didn't know what's going on with that. And like I said, there's been many of these little gremlins leaving comments about how they coming from my channel next and this, that, and the other. Like I said, mostly about 95% of all my videos, as soon as they get out there, there's these yellow caution signs because somebody then clicked on there to try to get it stricken and all that stuff, which is cool with me because guess what? YouTube manually and how a real person looks over the stuff. And guess what? Every time they've said, congratulations, your content is appropriate. So, yeah. And I know that there was a lot of, folks having issues or doing all kind of little stuff, making videos and doing all that stuff. I ain't accusing nobody of nothing. All I do is I support it with facts, math, and science. I show y'all the anatomy and all that stuff. I ain't accusing nobody of nothing. I put the pictures up there. I give the supporting facts, math, and science. That's it. That's it. All right. Let's see. Tanya says, this file number means nothing. We have no to verify. Yeah, and we don't have nothing to verify that it's not. We have nothing to verify that it's not either. So y'all saying that back in November that everybody lied, the lead attorney lied. He did a whole live where he read the same stuff. Y'all saying that he lied? An attorney lied? He said he lied back in November? I'm not saying all attorneys are honest or whatever like that, but still they know the law. All right. Tanya says, when would the U.S. keep this a secret? This is high-profile case. We have no reason to keep this a secret. Also, would the reporter know? His information are in Mexico, not the U.S. All right, let me see here. That's why I like to go back to these dates, y'all. Go back to these dates. Ooh, I'm so far behind. Hey, Libra Moon up in here. Where you at? Hey, Libra Moon, what's going on? It all seems like funny business to me. I don't trust any of it. I agree. Yeah, I agree. But what I am saying is that if you go back to the beginning, before anybody knew what lies that needed to be told to persuade and to guide you into thinking a certain way, you have to look at that. The lies didn't come until afterwards to continue to create confusion. Let me see if you're going to go and talk about this real quick. And okay, so let me finish up with him because I want y'all to hear what he's got to say about having to work with this transgender population, you know, why this is so secrecy. This is the reason why it's secrecy. It's because of these rights and certain things that you can and can't do with them. These transgenders have it set up to where they're able to go into women's prisons, even though they'll have their male genitalia. They are going in there, impregnating women, right? They have special rights.
And how people read it be different from how you be saying it. You know,
Exactly.
tone makes a big difference. Queen
Right.
Bee,
Oh, Queen Bee said, okay.
5 says, let's not forget there is a retired law enforcement in one of the Cabos 6 family. Really? I didn't know that. You hear anything about that?
Cabo, I'm not familiar with Cabo 6.
They're calling the friends, the 6 friends that went out here, the Cabos 6. Supposed to be, I think that's what she's trying to say there. The Cabos 6.
Okay.
That someone has a retired law enforcement in their family.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that, Queen Bee.
Yeah, and that happens. Everybody, you know somebody that's a cop.
Mm-hmm. Or nurse.
See,
Yeah,
I'm surprised if they even had a chance to talk to them yet. You know, if they had 6, they probably lawyered up right now.
You think they lawyered up?
If they had 6, you know, that's what that would be the best thing for a lawyer up. Because, like I said, the camera only tells so much of the story. You know, you got to corroborate what you saw on video. Mm-hmm. So if they,
that be news, if they lawyered up, like would we know about that, or is that like private? How would we know if they lawyered up?
Well, if they lawyered up, they probably in a case like this is so high profile. You got all these lawyers. They just want to put themselves in front of the camera.
Yeah,
so they might do something pro bono, but
that's why I don't think they lawyered up.
Right, I'm surprised, you know, and you can lawyer up without being, you know, they always give you a public defender, but that's part
But
of
if I'm not in any position to have anything happen to me, like I'm, you know, no one's looking for me, there's no arrest warrant, no one's even questioned me, you know, they may be thinking they're getting away with it scot-free. And that's why nobody's spoke about it, because, you know, they're scared. Like
at this level, with this much attention, they have to know they're all under suspicion of murder. You know what I'm saying? They all under suspicion. So, you know, to not have an attorney would be crazy.
Again, y'all, so why would we think that nothing's being done? And like I said, why did the news people stop reporting on it? Because of the secrecy.
What? Okay, so Wanda Ward says 4 or 5 other Americans expired there the same day Quilla did. What?
Yeah, they had a carbon monoxide issue in one of these Airbnbs, and that's another thing that's pretty dangerous when people go out the country, and even in country, when you get these Airbnbs, it's more safer to be, in my opinion, to be in a hotel, because it's kind of harder to identify who's with who. But when you go to an Airbnb, you're pretty much isolated. They know you're not supposed to. They know you're a guest there because you're not a regular person. You know, you get online and get these Airbnbs. Excuse me. You get online, get these Airbnbs, and everybody know, oh, it's the Airbnb. So you can make yourself a target if you're not real familiar with that area.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, the Airbnbs, they're pretty dangerous because, you know, they're owned by one person, so you don't know what he's doing up in there. They had Airbnbs where they found hidden cameras, all kind of stuff up in there.
Ooh.
Right, so, I mean.
Even somebody here was saying it. Candy just said she's not in jail. She hasn't been arrested.
Me, in my opinion, I'd rather stay, you know, to high-end hotel, you know, whatever you can afford, you know, because you got people coming in and out doing maintenance, but when you just got one person or whoever's appointed to deal with that Airbnb.
Tanya says his lies make perfect sense as he is a con scammer and has been lying from the start. Are you speaking about Geraldo? Yeah, I'm not trying to say he's an honest person. I'm just saying that truth has to be first before the lies can come out. A lie can't exist unless there is some truth. And now we are conditioned to just totally discredit everything that he has said. What I'm saying is that we go back to the November 29th and see what the people were saying, right? See what the folks were saying. See what was being read. See what was out there. And then the next day we come in with these news stories. Let me take this down so y'all can see. Okay, y'all ain't gonna be able to see on that. With these news stories of no arrest, right? Let's see here. I'm gonna just be letting this play.
You don't know what they're doing.
I'm waiting for him to say this.
Wow, wow, wow. All right, Gail says, subscribe to @the Common Sense Expert. And she's dropped the channel here. So y'all please go over and subscribe to Common Sense Expert. Y'all see he is kicking a lot of common sense here, and it makes perfectly good sense.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for sharing your knowledge with us, especially about the Airbnb, because I love Airbnb. But when you said that, I thought about my last trip, and I got an Airbnb. I was in Inglewood, California, and things had changed a lot around there, and I was feeling a little like I felt like a mark, maybe like I was just kind of neighborhood changed, and like, am I safe over here? Am I good to be here? That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because it's easy to target, especially most women. Y'all don't carry no guns.
Yeah.
Most some do. But most don't. So now they can just go, okay, she's in there by herself. Unless, instead of you.
I got a strap, y'all. And when I was in Colombia, I went to the little shooting range out inside. They dug a big hole in this mountain, and I was getting down, y'all. I was out there. I know how to, I'm good. I'm good. And I have my concealed carry permit. And I got a 9.
You walking into a hotel, they can't really see where you're going. Because another thing I recommend, don't go to hotels that rooms open up to the outside. You want something inside, so it gives you another layer of protection.
Tanya Carter says, so no reporter in the U.S. know she was arrested, just MX reporter. These are excellent points. I totally I hear you. Let's see here. Handyman says, so true. Yeah. TJ says, hey, RN in chat. What's going on, TJ? Hey, that's my girl. Libra Moon in easy. All right. And Tanya says, this makes no sense. I totally agree with you. The whole thing is confusing. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. For those who are just joining us, hello and welcome. Thank you. Know your own worth. Appreciate that. Tanya says, this does not operate. The U.S. does not operate. Look, this. Wait a minute. The U.S. does not operate like this. Maybe, I'm sure. Our government has procedures and processes to follow. Yeah. So, are you seeing that the government has always been on the up and up over here, Tanya? Right? They haven't. We want proof. Let's see. Giselle says, we need justice now. Please keep signing this petition for justice for Shanquella Robinson. We get justice now. Please, let's get this numbers and signatures up. Justice must be served now. Yes, I agree with you. I'm so far behind. All right, so let me just, I'm hoping him to get to this quickly.
Right, y'all hear that?
Move up just a little bit.
So they're always looking at things different.
Yeah.
You look like prey to them, okay?
Right. I bring a few friends out every night and get them on the range, and I get them so they're not afraid of that bang.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about too back then. We're supposed to start us a little shooting community for us women and stuff, so we'll be comfortable with these firearms and stuff. Like I know I had mine for a while and I didn't feel comfortable with it because, you know, when you first get a new one, to rack it is hard. Like it takes a lot of strength. But what I discovered is that you just got to keep racking it till it get loosed up, and that way you know, go ahead and cock that up real quick. And then again, it's true to be comfortable, you know, being able to get that, you know, little. I feel good now. I feel good now. Not saying that, you know, I'm an expert on it, but like I said, I went and got some really good training. And in Colombia, they do a whole little thing over there. Like it's a big thing. They, you know, they really encourage the women to go out there, and then like they train you on how to, you know, do the walking, you know, the whole little thing. I went through a nice little training. It was really good. But he is here talking about that too, this at the time too.
You see people on video?
Yeah.
And they drop the gun and the gun fall all over the place. I'm like, oh,
I only practiced once, and I was doing the New Year, and that was only because you know, everybody else was you know, shooting off stuff. I did get off one round, but yeah, I didn't really like it too much. But I want to get better and more comfortable with it, and actually have the little license to have the you know, what you have when you cover
the concealed weapon. And then too, after I didn't, you know, let off a couple of clips, I'm good too. Y'all got a good aim, and you know, I'm very comfortable with it and all that good stuff. So I encourage all of us women, you know, to get strapped and get some, you know, get comfortable with it, you know, especially here in the South, right? Because it's easier for us to, you know, everybody's strapped out here. Everybody's strapped.
it up. It's concealed.
Oh, yeah, concealed weapons.
Mm-hmm.
What state are you in?
Alabama, Montgomery.
Okay, because I know in here, I'm in Louisiana, we just passed a law where everybody could carry.
Oh yeah.
Without
It's nice in the South. You can get down like that.
Yeah, get down like that. There's certain places you can't go, but you know, if
California.
you don't have one, I would definitely, you know, tell people to get trained to know when to shoot and when not to shoot. Because some people think they can shoot so they mad, and then now you've been looking at 4 years of life.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna sign up and get me some training, and I challenge other ladies out there too to get some training and get you a piece, get you a strap, so in case you just gotta buck a couple of people.
Right, you gotta have it on you all the time, you know. You never know. It's better what they say. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said, get ready. You know, practice. Go ahead and racking it, because that was the part that made me nervous. I didn't want to carry, because I'm like, well, if it's hard for me to do it, well, I'm supposed to say, hey, look, hold up, Mr. Burglar or Mr. Killer or whatever, Mr. Hart. Let me try to rack this, right? So I learned later that it was because it was a new gun, a new strap, a new gat, that's why it was so hard. So the more I've been doing it, you know, letting it off, like now is nothing. I'm loading it up good. I know how to get my clip loaded up.
Exactly. Poetic Hell says, so do you think that the reason why the U.S. is quiet because it's out of their jurisdiction?
It is out their jurisdiction, but there's really nothing they can do other than what they've done already is between Interpol and the FBI, they've detained the suspect now. Y'all
hear that? This is November the 30th. He already said between Interpol and the FBI that they have detained the suspect. They've detained the suspect. I feel more comfortable believing that the suspect is being detained than not.
So now just the paperwork and just getting them, you know, extradited back to Mexico to face the charges. They're probably still working on.
And that's why the FBI ain't saying nothing to y'all, to us.
Interviewing the other 5, if they go 6 altogether. So I guess they got 5, but maybe 4, 4 of the other 4 suspects. You know, to get them to see what their story is, because at the end of the day, you're gonna want to know what really happened.
Right.
And because, like I said earlier, Malik, because he's less culpable, he's more likely to tell the whole story. You know, the two girls who did the most damage, they just don't point.
Did you hear that? He said the two girls. So there it goes back to validate when a lot of us said they saw the light-skinned girl putting hands on her. Did you hear that? He just said the two girls. And like I said, my live from a few days before this, back November 28th or something like that, or 27th, one of those, 27th, when I said, oh, the light-skinned girl that was hitting her after, I think her name's Winter, right? How many people kept saying that they saw a video with Winter putting hands on her? Did y'all hear what he just said? The two girls. Let me pull it back just a little bit. That's what I'm saying. You go back and listen to the old stuff before the lies. He don't know that months later or weeks later, some other facts are going to be put, not facts, other statements or other bones are going to be placed out there. He's just talking from the evidence that's been out there, what he knows. I'm just talking about from what I've seen, the evidence that we've seen. Pull it back. There's a few seconds.
Interviewing the other 5, if they go 6 all together, so I guess they got 5, well, maybe 4, the other 4 suspects.
The other 4
See what their
suspects.
story is, because you at the end of the day, you're gonna want to know what really happened,
Right.
And because, like I said earlier, Malik, because he's less culpable, he's more likely to tell the whole story. You know, the two girls who did the most damage, they just don't point the finger at each other because they.
The two girls who did the most damage just gonna point the finger at each other. And we saw that too, right? When it first came out, we saw Gerald Jackson doing the interview saying that Daejhanae mama was like, hey, what about the other girl who did this, that, and the other? Right? Everybody, those two girls was pointing the finger at each other. And this is how I know that I saw the video with the light-skinned girl putting hands on her after Daejhanae broke her neck.
Right. Disabled.
Yeah.
So
But
I think
I'm thinking this because who's that? Brittany Gaynor or Garner or whatever. It's a lot of coverage on her, and her thing is out of the country and not in the jurisdiction. It's a whole bunch of talk on her stuff. We seeing her off in the place.
And again, why did they trade off a major player to get Brittany Garner back, right? When there's been some suspicion about that individual. That's when we see the secrecy and stuff happen.
But nothing, we ain't heard nothing about this over there. So I don't know. I don't know. I think it's something deeper than it not being in their jurisdiction.
no,
You hear about that lady, and where is she, over in Russia somewhere?
Yeah, she's in Russia. You know, that's another thing. When you go out the country, you know, what's okay over here is not okay over there. So they caught her with vapors. I think it was vapor.
Yeah.
You know, some things are just not allowed. But
Exactly. Leave that stuff at home. You can wait till you get home. Good heavens. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Didn't you watch Locked Up Abroad?
Yeah, you watch this Locked Up Abroad.
Yeah. Somebody should have told Brittany that.
To catch a smuggler.
Yeah.
They show you all this stuff.
One of the words says they're meaner when angry. Oh, she talked those transgenders. In my experience, eager to fight women too.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's a double-edged sword for a man to deal with them, because if you get your ass whooped by one of them, you're gonna look bad. But if you put your hands on it, then you're looking at a hate crime charge.
Yeah.
So,
y'all hear that? So the hands are tied when it comes to these T people. It's a hate crime.
it's better just, let me stay clear of this situation.
So, and it's like we're being held hostage. You're emotionally hijacking us with this when like I was saying before, if your child has anorexia and they say, "Oh, I'm fat," right?
Mhm.
We don't encourage that delusional thinking. We get
This was the comment back in November the 30th. Wanda Ward said, they're meaner when angry, in my experience. Eager to fight women too, right? That's why I took myself out so y'all could see that. That was the talk during that time.
the child help. We get them counseling. We have to let them know that you have to eat. You're not fat. We do this. We reinforce reality.
Tanya says the lie came first. I'm not buying this. I have spoke to many attorneys about this. I feel your passion on this on this Tanya, you know. And like I said, I'm just going by stuff out here, and I wanted to go back to see when did we decide that she wasn't captured, when we spent time, the 29th and the 30th, talking about the person being arrested. Where did we all get this information from? Common sense experts up in here talking about the arrest. We were talking about the arrest. So if we were all talking about the arrest, everyone's in agreement that arrest had been made, but then 2 days later, now all of a sudden it wasn't. Hey, Alicia Renee. Alicia Renee said somebody called her work extension. Daejhanae picked up. Okay, again, like I'm saying, these are just, y'all just giving out statements of hearsay. We over here, we got written stuff and videos of people actually commentating on the arrest. So that's all I'm saying, y'all.
We do not support their delusional thinking and saying, yes, you're fat. We don't go around tell all our friends and family, say, hey, look, they think they fat, so you got to say they fat. Okay, now when you see her, make sure you tell her she's fat. She thinks she's fat. We don't do that, right? But let that be a transgender person, right? We have to announce to everybody, okay, he thinks he's a she, so make sure you say the she. And we got to go around and announce it to everybody, right? We are supporting delusional thinking. Why are we doing this? And then we're giving them rights. Rights. We're giving rights to people who are exhibiting delusional thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, it's rough out here. It's a topic that nobody want to touch because you can lose your job.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you talk about it in the wrong, in the wrong circle.
Yeah, and look at this. Wanda Ward highlights it right here. They're meaner when angry, meaner and eager to fight women. Probably because there's some type of deep-seated resentment and jealousy because they know that they're not real, right? Why I think that it keeps coming up, and that's the outrage that people are feeling, that if it's true that Daejhanae is transgender individual, that makes it even more horrific, and it makes women, real women, even more vulnerable because of that. And then you don't have any rights, nothing can be done because you're in a special class.
All right. So to me, that's why a lot of this stuff is being kept secrecy because of that, right? And it's not just this, but there's like communities of people that's going off into the government protesting or trying to do something to help women's rights right here in this country. And see here, Leonetta Young says Shank showed a mug shot yesterday. Okay. All right. And Giselle says, till justice for Shanquella is served, period. Right. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to continue to share the justice for Shanquella Robinson. When I am presented with things that Bones, I'm going to talk about it. My thing is this. I'm still waiting to show or for, some proof other than some hearsay on how did we go from, oh yes, person is detained and arrested, to all of a sudden, no, now they're not. Right? Because I'm pretty sure, because even this title was the curious of the person being arrested. And then just the day before I was reading, about being arrested, you see. All right. So we got some, and I know, like, I know we're going to be like this on it, right? We're going to be like this on it. But I just feel like when I see things, I see where they inserted the bone, right? By throwing in a word, something like that. I want to say something because it's eye-opening for me too. Dangerous says the day the main aggressor is arrested, the arrest warrant will be released, just like it was for the Idaho killer. But what about the talk of, because this is through the Interpol and the control judge and all those things that for all these reasons and stuff. I'm getting tired, y'all. Let's see here. Alicia Renee says Shank Rock was live last night. No RN. Yeah. No RN. Let's see. Shank Rock does not believe she had been arrested. Okay. But then somebody else just said he showed a mug shot, And I said, I'm not trying to be part of no controversy or none of that stuff. I'm just, speaking because I really want to stand for justice for Shanquella Robinson and for, women, period. Women's rights, period. Stuff like that. So, all right. Holy smokes, a lot of comments here. All right, let me see. Let me get off of this. All right. Okay. Let me see here if it's any. Okay. Since y'all did agree that y'all felt like that was the same Nancy Grace video, I was going to play the audio of it, but since we all in agreement that was old stuff from Nancy Grace, I don't believe I need to play that for any type of proof. What is this here? Okay. All right. So I'm just going to read this quick article here. Again, this one here is Yahoo, and the date, November the 30th, right? So did Yahoo we recant their statement here? And I know that they credited the Metropolexy MX folks for their information. Yeah, right up in here. But apparently Yahoo is supposedly a reputable source information. And over here it says that the person is arrested, right? Yahoo from November the 30th, which leads me back to my question. If we were saying that Daejhanae Imani Jackson has been arrested, when did she not get arrested? Because the only thing that they said was not arrested, right? But if you have to be released or something like that, when did she get released? If we got stories in print saying that she was arrested, why would that be the lie and then not arrested be the truth? Right? Let's see. Tanya said, I did see him show a mugshot. Okay. All right. So, okay. That's what I'm saying. So here we go. The mugshot, right? All right. So we got to pick one. Pick one. I'm going to quickly just read a little brief, because I've been reading this a lot. All right. So law enforcement appears to be one step closer to seeking justice in the untimely death of the 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson. Travel Noir previously reported on the public outcry to hold one of Robinson's friends accountable for the crime through extradition prosecution in Mexico. Those pleas may have been answered as reports circulate that Daejhanae Jackson has been arrested. Reports circulate that Daejhanae Jackson has been arrested in connection with the crime. Prior to the arrest, the local prosecutors for the state of Baja California Sur, Daniel De La Rosa Anya, said, we are doing everything that needs to be done, like putting out an Interpol alert and asking for the person to be sent to the U.S. It's about 2 Americans. And see, notice again here, they're talking about the 2. So this to me supports the fact that we saw, for those of us who remember seeing the video with the other girl hitting her, the light-skinned girl hitting her, is why I believe they're saying here it's about 2 Americans. The victim, and the person doing wrong. I spoke too soon. I'm sleepy. Interpol agents arrested Jackson on the night of November 28th in response to a controlled judge issuing an arrest warrant. Look at all these here facts and steps, right? Interpol agents arrested Jackson. I know someone else said that Interpol agents can't arrest folks. In response to a controlled judge issuing an arrest warrant against her for the crime of femicide, as reported by Metropolis. So, Robinson life, okay, I already read all that stuff here. Jackson, the latest, Jackson was placed in federal custody where she awaits the beginning of her extradition process. So, I'm more apt to believe this than the stuff that happened afterwards, the stuff that was stated afterwards to me. I don't believe that a lie can come first. A lie comes to contradict the truth. A lie comes to destroy the truth. There's nothing to lie about if there's no truth. All right, so let me see. Was there something else important I need to talk about? Yeah, I think that's about it on there. So thank y'all so much for coming in. Like I said, this channel is dedicated to helping victims. So I'm going to be talking more about the domestic violence, which I interpret as what people were saying is femicides in other countries. Like we have our own issue, and it's called domestic violence. Talk more about that kind of stuff because it exists over here, and there are women being unalived on a daily basis over here, and they have stories and need a voice for them also. I'm not going to stop talking and asking for justice for Shanquella Robinson, not at all. However, Danger says, no parent in America is going to let their child play on girls' basketball team with a transgender. Daejhanae is a female. She played on her freshman year girls' basketball team. I'm just going to show this real quick and then I'm going to be out. Because we still not in agreement that there's one, that there is more than one Daejhanae. All right, so I'm going to just show this real quick here. All right, so I made this here post because I can clearly see that these are two different people. This is the Daejhanae that people are saying that is a girl. They're saying that this is a girl because this is obviously an XX chromosome skeleton here. We can see that by the arch that is in the back. We can see that. This is not this. These are two different skeletons. This skeleton over here does not have an arch in the back. This is the picture that they are showing to represent Daejhanae Imani Jackson. This picture, not this picture. This is two different people. This one here is the one that they're showing that played the basketball or supposedly had a baby or whatever like that. There's no way that anybody's going to convince me that this is this, that these are the same people. You cannot change your skeleton. You cannot lose the arch in your back to now have a straight back. Betty says, that's what happened on my job. A female wanted to be called he. Yeah. yeah. And parents obviously don't have no choice in this because there's news cases out there where, I'm telling you, these transgenders have protected rights. There is a transgender high school student who sexually assaulted a high school student female in the girls' bathroom because they allowed the transgender who identified as being a female to have access to the girls' restroom. So he committed one sexual assault. Nothing was done. They kept it hush hush. They didn't warn anybody because they have to protect the transgender. Didn't care about the girl who was sexually assaulted. You don't get any rights. By them keeping silent and not reporting it and not doing anything about it, the transgender teen is allowed to sexually assault again, which they did on the second girl. This girl's dad went to a town meeting to say, hey, what the heck, what's going on with doing this? But because they are so conditioned to protect the rights of the transgender, the dad was attacked and taken down by what I remember, I think 4 or 5 security personnel because he was speaking out and they didn't like what he was saying. Let me see if I got that real quick video. I'm going to play one video. Let me see. What is this? FBI?
FBI reveals why Shanquella Robinson.
And that ain't what I want to play. I'm good, y'all. All right, so thank y'all so much. Let me make sure I didn't got all the new people. Scarlett Me says Russia wanted to play Let's Make a Deal. That's why they were so much media coverage. Also, laws are different in each country as it relates to due process. Yes, so Russia wanted to play Let's Make a Deal. Why was Britney so valuable? Right? Why was Britney so valuable? Think about that. All right. Hey, Brenda. Brenda said, I wonder if Shanquella might have made a joke about Daejhanae will reveal himself if they went skinny dipping and got angry. Brenda, you are not the first person to say that. That has been a lot going around in the talk, and that was the reason why people were saying that this went down, and that's why at the end we're saying, I'm tired of at least to unleash this fury because of that. That's what has been said. A lot of people have come up with that thought too. Thank you, Brenda, for sharing your statement there. Tanya says the mugshot also came from the Mexican reporter, not U.S. Yeah, I feel you on that, Tanya, and that's a good reason for people to not trust anything that was said, right? My thing is, like I say, I always go back to the beginning before they knew about the lies and stuff. So yeah. Let's see. Dangerous said a mugshot wouldn't be on social media image. Yeah, and then we heard from common sense expert that it's that's the reason why that the folks aren't saying anything about it. All right, so this is we can go on for hours, y'all. We can go on for hours here. Let's see, here another new name. Hey, Miriam Figueroa says the truth stands alone and a lie unravels. Yes, the truth can be remembered word by word. A lie, the more said to fit a person's personal agenda, is continually modified. Justice for Shanquella. Good one. Thank you. I'm going to read this one again. The truth stands alone and a lie unravels, right? The truth can be remembered word by word. A lie, the more said to fit a person's personal agenda, is continually modified. Justice for Shanquella. Exactly. And that's how we heard their story changed up multiple times. This is so true. Thank you for bringing out this very important fact. Let's see. Betty says, I heard it happened 2 times. Let's see here. Betty had said first. I heard that also, RN. Okay. Thank you. Hey, Jamie. Jamie says, I love your channel, RN. Nobody can change my mind. Keep up the good work, Queen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And that's how I feel too. Like, y'all saw, I was under the impression too that, she wasn't arrested. I had totally forgot that we had the story about her being arrested. Because we were talking about other things. And like I said, it was only for a day that the information was out there and that people was talking about it. And then all of a sudden we started talking about something else. That's what made me go back to see when did the detour get put off up in there, right? And for me, it felt like the detour was there just to give an opportunity to make stories, right? Because a lot of people started, getting, putting out these stories and then, views and all that stuff, right? So, that's, it made sense to why we need to throw this lie out there so we can continue on with these stories, right? And now we can just build these channels, because a whole bunch of new channels got started up and people was, zooming to the top of the charts with all kind of stuff. So, and like I said, after to see it and it just made me go back and say, wait a minute, did I know this? When did we find this out? And now you look back and see, okay, this is precisely when ABC and all, we didn't hear nothing else from them anymore. And then I don't know, after they got the message to Nancy Grace, we ain't heard nothing from her anymore either. Everything that she said have just been recycled, stuff that she said back, I want to say back in November. Even the one that came out in December was just the same story, but just edited differently. So it's really one story. And after probably they got the word to her, she been mums the word too. Everybody went mute. All of the real people went mute. I'm like suspicious and curious about like why, certain people stop talking about it, right? Why? Let's see here. Betty says, I heard it 2 times too. Okay, I read that. And Miriam Figueroa says, I applaud you, RN, for keeping this story alive. Keep doing what your Holy Spirit guides you to do. Thank you. And that's why I say, I just, like I said, I know people were disappointed or, and I had every intention on going over there. But for whatever reason, Spirit told me, click on the live button. And I've been over on the channel before. And then all of a sudden, when I saw everything scrubbed off, I'm like, what's going on with this? Why are all those videos gone? Right? Where are all the videos that Shank Rock did on Shanquella? What channel is this? And then I'm, reminded of the threats that's been typed off into my channel, even the emails, people sending me emails about, how they can do this and that to my channel and all that stuff. And like I said, my help coming from the Lord, and I'm cool with wherever I'm at now. And like I said, y'all didn't try to do the little stuff to get my channel demonetized or all this stuff. And after YouTube manually reviews it, they say, your content is it's cool. Your content is good for the channel. Your content is good, and we give you the green light. So, yeah. And like I said, even this nugget here, finding these articles and stuff, I was blinded by it because I had saw it and read it back November the 29th. But the Holy Spirit led me back there. Say, oh, there you go, right? But everything happens for a reason, and it's in its perfect time. So I'm not going to be dismayed or any of these things because I know that I have a hedge of protection around me, and whatever is supposed to happen is I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be for this time. And like I said, more people are lovers than haters. So I'm just going to stick to this, and I'm on the side of the Lord. I'm on the side of the Lord. And like I said, I want to, like I always caution y'all to stop, look, listen, and feel for vibes. And if things don't feel right, don't go in there. Don't go in there. I'm not going to knowingly walk into an ambush or what I'm suspicious of an ambush. And I'm sure with plenty enough people out there to handle whatever was going on there. But my thing is this: if you had the voice for like where's it at? Why has it been scrubbed off? Diana says, because the trans community applied the pressure to Biden for votes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. They have a super big voice. Even the whole LGBTQ, the LGBT part of the community are in discord with them. They're not on the same page. I'm just going to play this real quick video from this here lesbian, I believe it's on here. Explain. Oh, what is this? Okay, well, this is another heavy subject here. This is some. I'm gonna play this here from this here lesbian real quick. You close up some of these here boxes, and then we're gonna call it a day.
Where's the poop? Seriously.
I just want to put this out here because of this here comment, right? And because we were trying to figure out why all of a sudden the silence and stuff, right? Just protected community. Protected community here. All right, so this here is a feminist speaks out against trans movement.
now on set. Julie, thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So you said something that I think many people would in their hearts think is
Only
obvious,
4
but
minutes.
very few people are willing to say out loud. You said it. No one.
People are scared to say it out loud. I have some shorts where in my on my channel here, you know, talking about these transgenders, and people scared to comment on there. They'll go comment on another short in reference to that because people are afraid of, you know, all this what happens after if you stand up to this community. Just like the dad who went to speak up for his daughter who was sexually assaulted by a transgender, they attacked him because he wanted to speak up for his daughter. So dangerous when you say that parents wouldn't let these transgender be on the basketball. That ain't true. They giving them rights. They giving them rights. There was 2 transgenders that's on the girls' track team, and the parents are outraged and trying to get it out of there, right?
Knowing you would likely be punished for saying it, but you said it anyway. Why did you do that?
I believe in the truth. I believe that people should have these conversations and say things that matter without fear of punishment.
You are old-fashioned.
Wow.
Why do you think I couldn't agree with you?
That's considered being old-fashioned. That's why I'm saying fellow Gen Xers is important. We got to unite our voices because of this. They're trying to silence and erase history. Old-fashioned?
More, and I'm grateful that you have that attitude. But why do you think it was important to say this specifically?
Well, when we get down to it, women and girls all share a biological reality. We are all female. But if any male person can call himself a woman or legally identify as female, then predatory men will do so in order to gain access to women's single-sex spaces. And this puts every woman and girl at risk.
Can we agree that that's a valid statement, a valid concern? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's a valid concern, that predatory men can identify themselves as female to gain access to women's spaces, or even when they decide they want to unleash their true testosterone, their true XY chromosome power. They can do that at any time, regardless of what you're talking about identifying as. There is a difference.
That's from the beginning. I don't weigh in on this often because sexual politics is a morass and it's not worth it, to be totally honest with you. But I have enough daughters that I care. And my instinct has always been this change in our society, which we never debated, the terms have never been clarified, is not going to be good for girls in the long run. Do you share that concern?
I definitely do agree. Like I said, this puts every woman and girl at risk of male violence, and this is already happening in many states. In many states, men can legally identify themselves as female and gain access to women's single-sex spaces. And sports is just one institution where men are taking titles, scholarships, and this is a problem.
Taking titles and scholarships, right? That's what we're talking about. This is deeper than this whole Shanquella thing. This is politics backed up in here. That's why they silent, y'all.
Problem.
So it seems like a real problem. Why wouldn't women's groups who exist to carry the banner for women raise the alarm about this?
Because women don't have a voice. No one's listening.
Women have been speaking out about this for decades, but we have been effectively silenced. Many women like myself have been pushed out of spaces that we built, spaces that are intended to include us, simply because we acknowledge biological reality.
Do you think, I mean, you're lesbian, you are in the same acronym as a bunch of other groups, including people who are transgendered. Do you think that makes it more difficult for you to make this argument? I mean, it seems like this has been so politicized that you're expected to have a certain set of views that maybe you don't have.
I see where you're coming from. I would like to make a distinction here. The letters in the acronym share not much. The L, G, and B are based on sexualities. They're based on sex, biological realities.
Yes.
But the
Biological realities. Back in the day, it used to just be the LGB community. Lesbian, gay, and bisexual, right? I don't even know what, queer. I don't even know what the Q stands for, but she's saying biological reality.
T is based on gender identity, which is not based in biological reality. In fact, I would argue that it's opposed to biological reality. The LGB is very different from the T, and I don't think it's fair to lump us all into the same acronym.
Yep.
Do you find it astounding that it is considered an act of bravery to defend biology?
I do.
I wouldn't say so myself, but I guess that's where we are right now. And I hope more women stand up.
But last question, because I can't remember. What did they say to you? You were thrown off this commission. You were punished for saying this out loud. What was the rationale for it?
Frankly, there was no case made. My accuser said that they didn't have to make a case. One of the members of my committee argued that sex was a thing of the past. He said, frankly, science had progressed so far that sex was unimportant.
Wow.
I argued the opposite.
Julia back. At a time like this, everyone thinks, I would say what I really think, but most people are afraid to, and you're not. And I'm definitely standing in admiration of that. Thank you for that.
Okay. Wow. But you see how even the man there, he was like, yeah, I got a few daughters, so I get the concern. But he even said, it's not worth the time, right? Because who wants to get the drawback? But unfortunately, we as women, we can't just be like, oh, because this totally affects us big time. And we see here that we don't have a voice. No one's listening. Let's see, Lee Anetta says, couldn't it have been an old mug shot from a previous arrest? I don't know. Hey, LaJessica says, RN, you are doing a great job. Thank you. We love you and your channel. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much. All right, so let me do a few more then. We don't call it that. I just wanted y'all to see that here, that this is a huge problem. And that came from 3 years ago, right? I have a whole little sheet of this transgender stuff, and one day I'm going to get the courage to go on and do it too. I really don't be wanting to go there on this. Hold on, there. Okay, on the subject because of this whole stuff here. And let me see here. Diane says, now she will be a famous inmate. Yep. Oh, and somebody said something about Brittany because she was a famous basketball player. I hadn't heard of her until the whole arrest thing. I hadn't even heard, or I didn't know nothing about her, right? And it's just a basketball player on the women's basketball team supposed to carry this much clout to where they willing to release a serious criminal in exchange, right? What secrets were? Anyway, that's a whole other little story there. So let me see here. Let's see here. Giselle says, good night, my amazing, wonderful family. Today was extremely wonderful. Thanks again. And RN definitely rock. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. Yeah. Did y'all hit the like button a few times for me? Yeah, that's fair. I'll accept it. Thank you so much. All right. Hey, Sandra. All right. The dreamer. I thank you for your continued strive for justice for Shanquella Robinson. Appreciate that. And Tanya says, these YouTubers are cutthroat. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I just come on and, do my thing and try not to allow it to move me any old kind of way, right? move me any old kind of way, because since I've only been doing this YouTube, making any money off of it for a short time, it's it's not like I've got my life planned around it. I've got other gifts, and I'm not going to start talking about some things just to try to get views. I don't care about that stuff. I'm happy for the views that I get. I'm content with what it is. And I already know that whenever you are sticking with the truth, or you got God involved some kind of way, you're not going to be big and famous. It doesn't work like that, right? Because that's not how it works. You're supposed to be on DL. That's how I know I'm going in the right path, because I'm unknown. Nobody know about me. I'm just over here quietly lifting my voice, and few people are lifting the voice with me too. So thank you for that acknowledgement. Yes, they are some cutthroat people, but they can have at it, because what is for me is for me, right? This here my blessing. Ebony, hey Ebony. Ebony says, hello, beautiful RN. The mugshot Shank showed was not Daejhanae. Shank was not suggesting it was her, just showing some of the untruthful info out there. Thank you, Ebony, for clarifying that. Like I said, I didn't watch it, so I'm not sure what was shown and all that stuff. And I honestly try to stay neutral on this. That's why I don't go looking at what other people are talking about and stuff like that. For the most part, y'all was the one that brought over those pics from Geraldo and stuff like that. And I didn't even know that's what the pics were going to be. So when, I was laughing and clowning them, it was because I just couldn't believe how how blatant the lie was. Yeah. Thank you, Ebony. Yeah. All right. Miss FedEx says, hi, beautiful minds, and blessings to the chat and all that good stuff. Y'all done got these more up in here. So this one is that everybody is agreeing that something needs to be. Thank y'all so much for, supporting that, this is something that we should be alarmed about, right? We should be concerned and lifting our voices. So I will do something, specifically about, because I know there are some laws, and there's not even really, they haven't even really submitted them. They just put out the information, and then people just get scared and don't say anything. They just accept it, right? Because it's pretty horrible that these transgenders criminals could say, hey, I want to go to the ladies' prison, and I'm gonna take my penis with me, right? So it's obvious that they don't care to protect women. Thank y'all so much, sis. Sandra says, the devil is the author of confusion. Exactly, right? Because we was focused on November the 29th, and then all of a sudden on the 30th, when they started sliding in all these other things, then boom, there come the confusion. Here come the confusion. So thank y'all so much. A few more here. I thought I saw my girl up here. So Millie Love. Hey, Millie. Millie says, beauties and beautifuls. I'm late, but finally caught another live. It's been a while. Yeah, I was just thinking that too. Thank you, Millie, for coming in here. And of course, there's some little tampering, little gremlin work doing with the the notifications and all that stuff. That's why I come, I do my thing, and then if people watch, they watch. If not, guess what? This is still more views than I was getting 3 months ago. This is still more engagement than I was getting 3 months ago. So, y'all can do all the striking and conspiring and all the kind of little stuff you trying to do. But guess what? I'm still feeling blessed and highly favored. Thank you, Millie. All right. Hey, Brenda. Brenda said, some men will act like that to get access to females in their vulnerable state. Exactly. And we saw that in the high school. This person was allowed to sexually assault 2 girls, and nobody cared about the girls. They only cared about protecting the identity of the transgender. Hey, Lena said that woman Supreme Court judge said she don't know what female is. Wow. What's up, Libra Moon? Libra Moon said, I'm back. What did I miss? Not much. Hey, Light Keeper says, get out of there. A few more here. See, Millie loves it. It doesn't matter, but yet babies still need to be convinced by a man and a woman biologically. Conceived, excuse me. Yes, exactly. Let's see. Adian said the basketball player for a madman arms dealer. Yep, exactly. So, there was some talk about this Brittany Garner's, identity too, right? So maybe that's why they was like, hey, give us back our little secret. Give us back our secret here, and we'll pick whoever you want, right? We don't care. It could be a mass murderer, but we want to keep our little secret here. Let's see here. What are they trying to say this here? All right, let's see here. They tried to shut this one down. Man trans went to women's prison. Yeah. All right, I'm just going to get a few more of these look kind of interesting here. See something about Biden up here. Diane says, Biden went to Mexico and never spoke Shanquella Robinson's name. Yep. Justice for Shanquella Robinson by any means legally necessary. Thank you for adding the legally part of in there. Yeah. So maybe this has something to do with all of the support that, people are saying he received from that community. Hey, Tamika said, that's terrible. Go to the prison of the package that was born with. Exactly. Right? Because how is it fair? You're putting the women in jeopardy. Right? Yeah. Hey, Beverly. These are going to be like Mexico and create a separate wing for trans. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Robin. Hello, RN chat. Love your spirit and channel. God bless you, RN. Thank you so much. And on that note, I'm going to bid y'all farewell. Let's see. Tamika's encouraging y'all to hit the like button one more good time. We had 102 likes, 117 in here. I'm satisfied. I'm happy with all of the love and support. Like I said, it's always more lovers than haters. So thank y'all so much for continuing on here. I saw the word there. Diane said, man trans went to woman prison and impregnated 2 women. Yep. Like I said, I got a whole big, I can do a whole live on this whole issue here. But, still I'm being cautioned because, I'm still like learning about this stuff. And like I said, some of these things is like years old. So I want to know what the real laws are. Like maybe they just told us a little something and people are just accepting it and moving on. Y'all come on here. Beverly says, I like that our around attribute RN is talking about this subject because treats this subject as taboo and are afraid to offend the trans community. Yeah. And that was one of the reasons why I chose to make sure I use scientific terms when I'm referring to people like that. You cannot dispute that, right? Just like I say, there's times when, if they found the skeletal remains, they can tell in the woods if that's a female or a male because of the pelvis. Our skeletons are different. So yes, it is a taboo subject, but unfortunately it does need to be discussed because we Gen Xers, that's what we grew up on, this truth and stuff. And the more they continue to get us to stop talking about it, then they can insert what they want us to believe, right? They can insert the lies. And if nobody stands up for the truth, then the generations after us will believe that, you can change your sex. Right? Yeah. One day I'm going to do a whole something on that. And then to also show the regret from people that did do this transition and stuff, and the regret and the depression and also, all the negative things that happen to those communities and stuff like that. And, it's like I said, it's a big rabbit hole that, eventually we're going to have to go down there. All right. Hey, thank you so much. Yes. Good night. Good night. Good night. And love y'all. And I'm going to see y'all tomorrow on another video. Let's see here. What did it say? What is stupid president if you can call that a U.S. president? Oh, Lord, please have mercy on us. No. See, I don't get notification anymore. Yeah. Like I said, it's some gremlins out there that's trying to, what they call it, shadow ban or something like that. Because when I first lifted my voice and the light came on over here, this was just boom, 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 growing. Until I spoke out and said something that the community didn't like. That's how I know this stuff is true. Then all of a sudden, the trolls and stuff started doing the things. I saw the chat just slice down to, nothing, right? To nothing. Why? Right? And then the people that were but that were doing their shows on these lies and propaganda and speculation and all these little fancy stuff was just growing with the views. And that's how you know when the devil is offering something, right? Because that's what he promised you, right? He offers you that, right? I can give you all the riches and all that stuff if you bow down and worship me. Bowing down and worshiping the devil means that you accept the lie and you promote the lie. And that's when this channel started to not really flatline, but the growth was like this, because there's always going to be some truth seekers out there, some people that ain't ashamed to speak up on the truth, to stand on that. And that's why I say I'm okay with whatever is happening here. I'm okay with this growth. I'm fine. I'd rather have a community of truth seekers, people that believe in the truth, in reality, than to have, and like I said, even the scriptures tell you it's a small amount of people that's going to get it. He who has an ear will hear, right? So it's not for everybody. So I'm not offended at, that I don't have all these hundreds of thousands of views and all that stuff, right? Because I'm where I'm supposed to be at. And I thank the universe for my voice. So thanks so much here. So peace and love. Yes. And that's it, because y'all gonna keep on coming up there. Love y'all. See y'all in another video. Peace and love.